everyone, Ryan from Fret Dojo here. If you've been studying scales and modes for jazz guitar, there's one sound I bet you're neglecting, and that's the blues scale. In this video, I'll take you through 5 licks that work over all sorts of jazz harmony and show you exactly how the greats applied the blues in their playing. Okay, let's grab our guitars and get started. You can find a PDF with all of these licks in the description below. Feel free to download that now and keep that handy throughout the lesson. So first, let's check out our major blues scale. So this is gonna sound like a B-flat major pentatonic scale. But we're gonna add in a lowered third, which is our blue note. And the blue note is identified in both these scales by being basically a scale degree that's a half step lower than we'd expect it to be. That's kind of the characteristic bluesy sound. So in the major blues scale, that's gonna be our lowered third, which is a half step lower than we'd expect it to be. So in my B flat major blues scale, that's gonna be a D flat. And you can already hear that has such a bluesy sound to it. It's kind of that relationship between major and minor that really gives the blues its characteristic sound, in addition to the flat 5. Now let's check out the minor blues scale. That's gonna look like a minor pentatonic scale with an added flat 5. So B flat minor pentatonic. And then adding that flat 5, E natural, in both octaves. That's our B flat minor blues scale. So the minor blues scale is great for dominant chords or minor chords. If I'm playing B flat minor, still sounds great. So if we check out the first lick on the PDF for this video, you'll see we have this sound. Really cool. And so that's using notes that come from both the major and minor blues scales. And you'll notice we have totally chromatic motion from the lowered third all the way up to the 5th of the scale. Which is awesome. That gives such a bebop kind of sound. And it comes from blending the major and minor blues scale, right? The minor third is part of the minor blues scale. The major third is part of the major blues scale. The 4th comes from the minor blues scale, as does the flat 5th. And the 5th is in both of them. So then we can use all of those notes. And you even hear people like Charlie Parker play ideas like that. So it's definitely at home in jazz vocabulary. Some other really cool sounds we get when we mix the major and minor blues scale is this tritone between the lower third and the 6th of the scale. D flat and G natural in this case. And so those sound great. You hear that leveraged quite a bit in a bunch of different sounds. That's one we'll encounter in just a second with our Charlie Christian idea, but these are the kind of sounds you access when we start to blend those major and minor blues scale sounds.
Hey, Greg here from FretDojo.com. A quick break to mention something that might interest you. If you've been watching our videos and thinking, I'd love to try jazz guitar but don't know where to start, I've got something perfect for you. We're running a free 30-day jazz guitar challenge where I'll teach you the exact fundamentals you need to start improvising authentic jazz solos without overwhelming theory or complicated chord shapes. We'll start with simple 3-note chords, then learn to solo over a cool jazz blues progression. And by the end of the 30 days, you'll actually sound like a jazz guitarist instead of someone just running scales. The best part? It's completely free. No catch, no credit card required. I want to prove to you that jazz doesn't have to be this mysterious, intimidating thing. If you're ready to finally crack the jazz code, click the link in the description. Now back to today's lesson.
Next, let's check out a textbook classic Grant Green minor blues lick. This comes from his solo on Green's Greenery. So this is classic Grant Green. That's how he opens his solo on Green's Greenery. And I think it just shows beautifully how he's kind of moving between positions of the minor blues scale and just kind of using the scale. But rhythmically, he makes it interesting and it has forward momentum, has all the things that we want a great lick or line to have. So I think it's a great one to learn. Again, slowly, we're just using the minor blues scale. And he's really highlighting that relationship between the flat 5 and the 5. Awesome. So that line would work totally well over a dominant chord, but also would work great over a minor chord. Again, showing the flexibility of that minor blues scale in particular. Next, let's check out this Charlie Christian 251. I think Charlie Christian is one of the masters of blending blues vocabulary into jazz phrases. And this is over a 251. So think about how many tunes a 251 shows up in, right? So this would be applicable in a lot of different scenarios. And it really, really kind of blurs the line between jazz and even early rock and roll vocabulary almost. This is such a cool line. Let's check it out. So here's this Charlie Christian lick. Awesome. So, if we were to check this out from a theory perspective, we'd probably have a lot of questions. Why is he playing D flat over a C minor 7? Is he playing a flat 9? No, not really. And this kind of showcases how a lot of this blues vocabulary just kind of cuts through harmony and just kind of gives you the sound of the diatonic key of whatever key you're in. So in this case, B flat. Right, we're kind of using that sound. What's also cool in this line is the added chromaticism in between the 6th and 5th scale degrees. That almost sounds like a major bebop scale, if you're familiar with that scale sound. But right here, we're using it in a totally kind of bluesy way. Awesome, really classic sounding Charlie Christian vocabulary. And that works over a long 251, which shows up all over the place in jazz. So that's another sound you can kind of add to your repertoire when it comes to playing over long 251s. There's one more sound I wanted to check out to get this bluesy sound into our playing, and that's this style of very pianistic or organ player influenced lick, which uses multiple voices. So earlier we were playing single note lines. Now we're going to check out some lines that use 2 voices, kind of like a piano player can hold a note and play notes beneath it, or an organ player even more so. This is something that Wes Montgomery did a lot. This is something that you hear George Benson do a lot. Pat Martino does it a lot. Everybody does this a lot when they're playing kind of bluesy ideas. So let's check out these licks. Okay, so I had these licks written out, but really the key to this is more conceptual, which is just that we want to have an upper voice and then a lower voice, but we're playing them both at the same time. So my right hand, my picking hand, is hitting both these notes at the same time. So I'm kind of strumming through all those strings. And that's where that effect kind of comes from, that very piano-like or organ-like effect. So that first lick I had there, that's just kind of highlighting also those double stops, which you hear all over the place in blues kind of vocabulary, even outside of jazz. But that first lick, so my first and fourth fingers are grabbing that kind of perfect fifth there. And then my second finger, I'm hammering on to get that flat 5, which really sings out against that root in the upper voice. And what's really cool is I can keep that ringing while I play notes below it as well, which is where you get that really kind of organ player sort of sound. Let's check out another lick. This one, now our 2 voices are the 3rd of the chord, D natural, and the root of the chord, B flat. And now I can use all of this space in between the 3rd and the 5th. While keeping the high voice ringing that root. Totally sounds cool, right? And same kind of thing, I can bring in other voices beneath that. Super bluesy sound. So what's cool about that, that can work on the major third. They can also work on the minor third. So if I wanted to play this here, kind of in my B flat position, I would play the 9 and the 13, or the 9 and the 6, C natural and G natural, and then I would hammer on the minor third too. Then we have a bunch of different places we can use this idea all over a B flat chord. So on the flat 5, on the flat 3, and then on the major 3. So these are really classic blues sounds. Okay, now let's talk about application. So what kind of sounds are we going to use this over? What kind of situations can we use this over? Well, this will sound great over, like I said, any kind of diatonic situation. So if we're staying in the key of B flat, we're not changing keys or doing any kind of modal mixture or borrowing sounds from other keys, then this blues stuff is kind of fair game, almost all over the place. So let's check out how it sounds over a long 2-5-1, and then we can listen to a turnaround, and we'll see that all this blues stuff will sound great over those diatonic situations. Okay, so let's hear how this sounds over a long 2-5-1. All right, so that was a long 2-5-1. Now let's check out a turnaround. What's really cool about this is I'm going to play 3-6-2-5. And I'm never going to go to that 1 chord. So even though we're playing a bunch of changes and we're in the key of B flat, I'm never actually going to play a B flat chord. So you're probably thinking, will this B flat blues vocabulary still work? Yes, it will, because we're all staying kind of in one diatonic area, which is going to give us that freedom to use these melodic sounds. So let's check that out now. So here's a 3-6-2-5 turnaround in B flat. With these licks handy, you're ready to tackle a large portion of the progressions found in jazz tunes. This approach can really open things up and prevent a lot of the overthinking that comes with chord scales and other approaches to improvising. If you like this lesson, please leave us a like and subscribe to our channel if you're interested in seeing more jazz guitar lessons like this one. Do you use the blues in your jazz guitar solos? We'd love to hear from you guys and see what works for you in your practice and your playing, so leave a comment and let's get the discussion started. If you're interested in learning more about jazz guitar, you can find the link below and check out our 30-day beginner jazz guitar challenge. That's all for now. We'll see you next time.